Joining me also on the topic is Gidi Grinstein, former peace negotiator under Prime Minister Ehud Barak and founder at the Reut Group. Gidi, we were just discussing how the ceasefire deal with Lebanon had a spillover, perhaps, on this potential plan between Israel and Hamas. What's your take?
I think that we're also seeing, first of all, this is all good news, I believe. And we're also seeing some flexibility on the part of the Israeli government, not just on the part, or not just as a consequence of Lebanon. But I will say what has already been said here on your show and on other shows here on i24News, that the outline of the future agreement in Gaza is kind of clear. Israel will continue to maintain a security perimeter, somehow under close to the arrangements that we have in Area B in the West Bank. The rest of Gaza, about 80%, will be like Area A in the West Bank, controlled directly or indirectly by the Palestinian Authority. And within that area, the international force will be able to come in and begin the process of reconstruction and also establish security. This outcome of the war has been clear for a few months. It's only now that kind of the political conditions are there in order to get there, in order to reach it. I think this is good news. I also assume that that once we begin to move in this direction, they will have to reintroduce the Oslo Accords in order to run Gaza, primarily the interim agreement that regulates the economic life and also civic issues. We also have to remember that the Oslo Accords allow for security forces, Israeli security forces, to have hot pursuit into Area A, which is something that has been central for Israel and I think will come up in the next few weeks. Altogether, I think we're moving in the right direction. Probably there are a lot of details to be discussed.
So then what exactly remains of the staunch red lines that both Israel and Hamas had been pushing for over the last year?
Well, I think that for Hamas, they need to know that they will demand to know that Israel will eventually leave Gaza, meaning Israel is not annexing any part of Gaza. Israel is not building settlements in Gaza. This will be essential for Hamas in order to sign. Right now, by dividing Gaza into Area A and B, that assurance is indirectly given to them because according to the Oslo Accords, only Area C will be negotiated ahead of permanent status. Area A and B will be Palestinian. I believe that the audience needs to understand that right now in Gaza, there is an absolute legal vacuum. Israel withdrew, Hamas canceled in 2005. Hamas canceled the existing agreements. It canceled the Oslo Accords. The Hamas government is no longer there. The Palestinian Authority is not there. So there is a legal void in Gaza that has to be filled. Filling that legal void requires either a very complicated agreement on economic, civic, security affairs, or simply transporting the agreements that exist in the West Bank into Gaza, which I believe this is what will happen. Again, I think that there are a few more things to be discussed, but the ceasefire is essential for us to be able to move forward into what is called the day after, and then into the political horizon. I do want to say that with the right architecture of the day after and moving into the political horizon, there could even be a normalization deal with Saudi in the current conditions.
And at this stage, there's a little over a month left until the change in administration in the U.S. Could Biden's administration actually reach a deal before President Trump's inauguration? Is there the pressure of time for the Biden administration to reach this deal?
To the best of my knowledge, at this moment, these administrations, the two administrations, Biden and Trump, are closely coordinated on this issue. This is what I know. Hopefully it's true. I think it's very important. In any case, it's clear that the incoming Trump administration wants to move into office when the war in Gaza is basically done so that it doesn't dominate the agenda of the president. Also, I want to say, I mean, sadly, tragically, that probably Hamas cannot deliver the 100 Israelis who are still in Gaza. So we may be in a situation where they're able to deliver dozens of live, as many as possible live, some bodies, but then there will be another group that will stay in Gaza, and some of them, it may take much longer for us to find them. So I'm not sure. I believe that even a deal now doesn't resolve the hostage issue. It shrinks the hostage issue. We get to a ceasefire. Maybe we can begin to discuss the day after the political horizon, but still we will have to live, sadly and tragically, for a longer time with the hostage, with the challenge of the hostage situation.
Very much still a unclear future there for that deal. Gidi Grinstein, former peace negotiator under Prime Minister Ehud Barak and founder at the Reut Group, thank you for your insight.
Thank you very much for having me.